Imagine your own grandson at his wedding in your vineyard, coldly declaring, "You're just a guest on MY land now, old man." But Giorgi didn't fade away. He flipped the script for ultimate justice. If you've ever felt betrayed by family, share your thoughts below. You won't believe what happens next.
Thank you, Eliza, for this platform to speak. I'm still reeling from the betrayal, but I'm proud of how I fought back. Let me tell you the full story of that chaotic day. The weight of my wife's wedding ring burns against my palm as I crouch behind these oak barrels, listening to my grandson destroy everything we built. Above me, 300 wedding guests celebrate what they think is love. Down here in the wine cellar of my own vineyard, I'm holding proof that Niko pawned the most sacred thing in our family to pay his gambling debts. The pawn shop receipt is dated 3 weeks ago, $2,400 for a ring that's worth 10 times that in memories alone. Maya wore this ring for 38 years before cancer took her. She made me promise to give it to Niko's bride when he found real love. I thought today was that day. I was wrong about everything. 40 years ago, Maya and I stood on the same ground with nothing but hope and $20 between us. The California soil was hard-packed and unforgiving, but she was 8 months pregnant and glowing with dreams bigger than both of us. "Here, Giorgi," she said, her hands covering mine as we pressed that first grapevine into the earth. "This is where our family grows." She spoke in Georgian, the language of our hearts, while I struggled with English words that felt clumsy in my mouth. But the vines didn't care what language we spoke. They just needed love, patience, and hands willing to work until they bled. "Promise me," she whispered, her belly round with the child who would become Niko's father. "Promise me this land stays in our family. No matter what happens, this is our legacy." I promised, in Georgian, in broken English, in the universal language of a man who would die before breaking his word to the woman who gave him everything. We planted 17 vines that spring morning. Today, those vines shade 3 acres of the most sought-after vineyard property in Napa Valley, worth $12 million, according to the developers who have been circling like vultures since Maya died. But it was never about the money. It was about keeping promises to the dead. This morning, I woke at 5 a.m. to bake khachapuri, the traditional Georgian cheese bread that Maya taught me to make when we were newlyweds. My hands moved through the familiar motions, mixing, kneading, shaping, while outside my kitchen window, the catering trucks arrived to transform our vineyard into a wedding paradise. 200 white chairs arranged in perfect rows between the vines, a string quartet tuning their instruments near Maya's memorial rose garden, servers in crisp uniforms polishing wine glasses that caught the morning light like promises. I watched my grandson direct the setup from the terrace, pointing and gesturing with the confidence of a man who belonged here. For the first time in months, Niko looked clean, sober, happy. His bride, Sarah, glowed beside him in her rehearsal dress, and when she laughed at something he whispered, I felt hope bloom in my chest like those first grapes we harvested. Maybe this was it. Maybe love had finally reached the boy I'd been trying to save since his father died. Maybe today, Niko would become the man this land deserved. I placed Maya's ring in my jacket pocket, ready to present it during the reception toast, ready to welcome Sarah into our family with the blessing of 4 decades of marriage. The khachapuri came out golden and perfect. Maya would have been proud. I'm back in the cellar now, hiding the ring where Niko will never think to look, when voices drift down through the air grate that connects to the bridal suite above. I freeze, recognizing my grandson's laugh, but there's something sharp in it, something that makes my stomach clench. "Baby, you have no idea how perfect this timing is," Niko says, and I can hear him pacing. The old man's been getting more confused lately, more manageable. Sarah's voice is softer, harder to catch. "Are you sure about this? He seems so sweet, and this place is his whole life." "That's exactly the problem." Niko's voice turns cold, and I don't recognize the boy I raised. He's holding on to something that could solve all our problems. The investors are coming Monday, and I need him out of the way before then. A nice assisted living facility, maybe somewhere that specializes in memory issues. My blood turns to ice. Memory issues. I'm sharper at 65 than most men half my age. "Once we're married, this land is ours and he's out," Niko continues with casual cruelty. I get the old man declared incompetent. I inherit everything. The land, the business, the whole operation will be set for life, Sarah. No more worrying about money, no more. No more gambling debts. Sarah's voice carries an edge I haven't heard before. Niko's silence stretches too long. When he speaks again, his voice is harder. That's all handled. After Monday, none of that matters. The investors are paying enough to clear everything and set us up forever. I press my ear closer to the grate, my heart hammering against my ribs. This can't be real. This can't be my grandson talking about selling the land that Maya and I bled for, the land where her ashes are scattered among the roses. But it is, and suddenly every strange conversation from the past month makes terrible sense. The processional music starts above, Pachelbel's canon in D, just like Maya wanted for her funeral but never got. I should go upstairs. I should take my place in the front row and watch my grandson marry the woman he loves. Instead, I stay frozen by the grate as Niko's phone rings. Martinez, perfect timing, Niko answers, and I recognize the name, our family lawyer. Is everything ready for Monday? Good, and the death certificate looks authentic. No, he's not actually dead yet, obviously, but the paperwork needs to be dated correctly for the inheritance transfer. My vision blurs, death certificate. I grip the wine barrel so hard my knuckles go white. The old man doesn't suspect anything, Niko continues. As far as he knows, I'm just a reformed gambling addict who found love. He's probably upstairs right now, crying happy tears about his precious legacy. He laughs and the sound cuts through me like broken glass. By Tuesday, he'll be in a memory care facility, the land will be sold, and I'll be $12 million richer. The investors already have the demolition permits ready. They want to break ground on the casino by Christmas. They want to build a casino where Maya's roses grow. I slide down the barrel until I'm sitting on the cold stone floor, Maya's ring burning in my palm like a coal. Everything I thought I knew about my grandson, about this wedding, about my own family, it's all lies. They're not just planning to steal my land, they're planning to erase me entirely. The music swells above as Sarah walks down the aisle, but I'm moving deeper into the cellar, toward the small office where I keep the vineyard records. If Niko is planning something for Monday, there might be evidence. I find it in the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet, hidden behind tax documents, a complete intake packet for Sunset Manor Memory Care Facility. The admission date is today, tonight, after the reception ends. My hands shake as I read the medical evaluation, all lies, all forgeries. Patient shows signs of severe cognitive decline, episodes of confusion and aggression, requires immediate supervised care for his own safety. There's a note clipped to the back in Niko's handwriting, family intervention after final toast. Sheriff Martinez will assist with transport if necessary, involuntary commitment papers already filed. Sheriff Martinez, the man who's been to our family barbecues for 15 years, the man who calls me Uncle Giorgi and brings his kids to pick grapes every harvest. They've turned everyone against me. The worst part is the intake fee, paid in full, $2,400, the exact amount Niko got for pawning his grandmother's ring. He used Maya's memory to buy my prison. Above me, the ceremony continues. I can hear the officiant asking if anyone objects to this union. I want to scream that I object to everything. I object to the lies, the betrayal, the desecration of everything Maya and I built. I object to my grandson using our family's love as a weapon against me. But I stay silent in my cellar, surrounded by wine that won't exist next week, holding evidence of my own kidnapping. The ceremony is ending. I can hear applause, laughter, the sound of 300 people celebrating what they think is love. In a few minutes, the cocktail hour will begin, followed by dinner, dancing, and finally the toasts. The final toast, when Niko plans to have me committed. I check my watch, 5:15 p.m. The reception will run until 9, maybe 9:30. Then the family intervention begins, and by midnight, I'll be sedated in a memory care facility while my grandson signs papers to demolish everything Maya and I created. 4 hours, I have 4 hours to save my life, my land, and my wife's memory. I stand up slowly, my joints protesting, and carefully fold the nursing home papers into my jacket pocket next to Maya's ring. Evidence. I'll need evidence if I'm going to fight this. But first, I need to understand exactly how deep this betrayal goes. I need to know who else is involved, how long they've been planning this, and what other lies I've been swallowing. I climb the cellar stairs toward the sound of celebration, toward my grandson's wedding reception, toward the most important performance of my life. Because that's what this has to be now, a performance. I have to pretend I know nothing while I figure out how to destroy the conspiracy that's destroying me. The last thing I hear before I open the cellar door is Niko's voice, loud and triumphant. "Ladies and gentlemen, let's party. Tonight we celebrate new beginnings." New beginnings, he has no idea how right he is. The cocktail hour is in full swing when Niko finds me by the bar, his arms sliding around my shoulders like a snake. To the guests, we look like grandfather and grandson sharing a tender moment. Only I can feel how his fingers dig into my shoulder blade, steering me toward the microphone set up near the string quartet. "Grandpa, everyone's been asking about you," he says loud enough for nearby guests to hear. His smile is perfect, practiced. "I told them you had something special to say about the vineyard, about our family's future." My stomach drops. This isn't part of any program I approved. Niko, I don't think. "Come on, don't be modest." His grip tightens and suddenly we're moving through the crowd whether I want to or not. "Tell everyone about your decision, about selling the vineyard so we can all move forward together." The words hit me like ice water. He's doing this now in front of everyone, forcing me to either lie publicly or look like a confused old man who doesn't know what his own grandson is talking about. Guests are turning to watch, smiling expectantly, wine glasses raised in anticipation of a heartfelt speech. "Ladies and gentlemen," Niko calls out, tapping the microphone, "my grandfather has something beautiful to share with us all." He places the microphone in my trembling hand and steps back, still smiling, still playing the loving grandson. But his eyes are cold as winter, and I understand perfectly. Speak his lies or be humiliated in front of 300 people. I look out at the sea of faces, family, friends, people who have known me for decades, and realize this is just the beginning of his public manipulation. Every word I say now will be remembered, recorded, used against me later. I start, then stop. The microphone amplifies my hesitation, making me sound exactly as confused as Niko wants me to appear. He steps closer, whispering in my ear while maintaining his loving smile. "Tell them about the sale, old man. Tell them how happy you are to finally rest." I manage to escape the microphone disaster by claiming I need a moment to collect my thoughts, but the damage is done. I can see guests whispering, exchanging glances that say, "Poor old man, he's not quite himself anymore." Niko has planted the seed of doubt about my mental state, and it's already growing. Seeking refuge, I duck into the gift table area near the entrance, where an elegant display holds cards and envelopes from well-wishers. Maybe I can find a quiet moment to think, to plan my next move. That's when I notice something wrong. The gift envelopes are too thin, too light. I pick up one from the Hendersons, our neighbors for 20 years, and feel my blood freeze. The envelope has been carefully opened and resealed, but there's no weight to it. No cash, no check. With shaking hands, I open it fully. Inside, where there should be a wedding gift, is a handwritten IOU, payment pending completion of land development project. And I, Niko Ivanishvili. I grab another envelope, then another. All the same, every single wedding gift has been stolen and replaced with IOUs signed by my grandson. The Patel's generous contribution gone, the Ross's check replaced with a promise to pay upon successful casino licensing. My legs nearly give out. It's not just my land he's stealing. He's robbing every guest at his own wedding, using their gifts to pay for bribes, permits, whatever corruption he needs to steal my vineyard. These people came here to celebrate love, and he's picking their pockets while they drink my wine. I think of Mrs. Chen, who brought her social security check because she wanted to help the young couple start their life together. Of the Vasquez family, who saved for months to give something meaningful. All of them robbed by the man they're here to honor. The depth of Niko's criminality hits me like a physical blow. This isn't just family betrayal anymore. This is a crime spree disguised as a wedding reception. I'm still reeling from the gift table discovery when I overhear Sarah's father, Robert, holding court near the wine station. His voice carries the confidence of a man who's had too much champagne and wants everyone to know how clever he is. "Best investment I ever made," he's telling a group of impressed listeners. When Niko approached me about backing the casino development, I knew it was brilliant. Prime real estate, perfect location, and the old man's too senile to stop it. My blood turns to ice. Sarah's father isn't just a wedding guest, he's an investor in the conspiracy to steal my land. The demolition starts Monday morning, Robert continues, gesturing expansively with his wine glass. Bulldozers are already on standby. By Christmas, we'll have ground broken on the most exclusive casino resort in Napa Valley. The Memorial Garden goes first, prime spot for the main entrance. The Memorial Garden, Maya's roses, the place where I scattered her ashes with her blessing, where I go every morning to tell her about my day. They're planning to pave it over for a casino entrance. What about the old man, someone asks, won't he object? Robert laughs, a sound like breaking glass. By Monday night, he'll be safely tucked away in memory care and his grandson will have full power of attorney. Legal, clean, and profitable for everyone involved. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone with dementia is make their decisions for them. I grip the wall to keep from falling. This conspiracy goes deeper than I imagined. It's not just Niko, it's a coordinated effort involving lawyers, investors, medical professionals, and law enforcement. They've built an entire criminal enterprise around stealing my life, and they're using my grandson's wedding as the cover story. The timeline is clear now. Reception ends tonight, I get committed, Niko gets power of attorney tomorrow, demolition starts Monday. By the time anyone realizes what happened, Maya's garden will be a parking lot and I'll be drugged into compliance in a locked facility. I find Niko alone by the catering station during dinner setup, and for one desperate moment, I hope there's still something left of the boy I raised. Maybe if I approach him privately, appeal to his better nature, remind him of his grandmother's love, maybe I can still save us both. Niko, I say quietly, stepping beside him, we need to talk about the plans for Monday, about what you're really doing here. He doesn't even pretend to be surprised that I know. Instead, his face transforms into something cold and calculating, all pretense of the loving grandson stripped away. Oh, we're done pretending, are we? He sets down his champagne flute with deliberate precision. Good, I was getting tired of the act. This doesn't have to happen, I say, hating how my voice sounds pleading, desperate. The land can stay in the family. We can work something out, pay your debts another way. Your grandmother wouldn't want. Don't, his voice cuts like a blade. Don't you dare talk about what that dead woman would want. The casual cruelty of it, calling Maya that dead woman, hits me like a physical blow, but he's not finished. You want to know what's really going to happen, old man? He steps closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that no one else can hear. After tonight, after you're safely locked away where you can't cause any more problems, I'm going to have grandmother's body exhumed. Can't have a casino built on a burial ground, bad for business. I'll have her remains disposed of properly, cremated maybe, or just lost in the paperwork. My vision goes red. He's threatening to desecrate Maya's final resting place, to scatter her ashes like garbage, to erase even her memory from this land. The Memorial Garden goes first, he continues, enjoying my horror. Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp. The roses, the headstone, the little bench where you sit and talk to yourself, all of it gets bulldozed to make room for the valet parking. And there won't be a damn thing you can do about it because you'll be drooling in a padded room, wondering why your family abandoned you. I want to hit him, I want to grab him by the throat and shake him until he remembers who he used to be. But I'm 65 years old and he's 32 and desperate, and we're surrounded by 300 wedding guests who think I'm the one losing my mind. The gambling debts, I managed to say. How much? 2.7 million, he says it like he's discussing the weather. Turns out when you owe that much to certain people, they don't accept payment plans. They accept land deeds and casino partnerships though. Funny how that works. Dinner is served and I'm trapped at the head table between Niko and Sarah's mother, forced to smile and nod while my world crumbles around me. The irony isn't lost on me. I'm the guest of honor at my own execution. Niko stands during the main course, tapping his knife against his wine glass to get everyone's attention. The conversations die down as 300 faces turn toward us expectantly. I know this isn't the traditional time for speeches, he begins, his voice warm and loving, but I couldn't wait any longer to share some wonderful news with all of you. My stomach clenches. Whatever he's about to do, it's going to be bad. As many of you know, my grandfather has been the heart and soul of this vineyard for 40 years. He and my late grandmother built something truly magical here. He pauses, letting the sentiment wash over the crowd. Several people dab at their eyes. But lately, we've all noticed that Grandpa has been struggling. The responsibilities of running this place have become overwhelming for him, haven't they, Grandpa? He turns to me with a smile that looks loving to everyone else but feels like a knife blade. The crowd watches expectantly, waiting for my response. I open my mouth to deny it, to tell them all the truth, but Niko continues before I can speak. That's why I'm so proud to announce that Grandpa has made the incredibly generous decision to sell the vineyard and move somewhere he can get the care and attention he deserves. He's going to be so much happier, so much safer, without all these worries on his shoulders. The crowd erupts in warm applause. People are smiling, nodding, some even wiping away tears at this beautiful example of family love and sacrifice. They think they're witnessing a touching moment of an old man gracefully stepping aside for his own good. Let's give him a hand for 40 years of incredible dedication and for having the wisdom to know when it's time to rest. The applause grows louder. People are standing now, giving me an ovation for agreeing to my own destruction. I'm trapped in a nightmare where my kidnapping is being celebrated as an act of love. The applause finally dies down and people return to their meals, chattering excitedly about the touching announcement. Niko sits back down beside me, leaning close as if to share a grandfather-grandson moment. "Beautiful speech, wasn't it?" he whispers in my ear, his voice barely audible under the dinner conversation. "You should have seen your face. You looked exactly like what you are, a confused old man who doesn't understand what's happening to him." He pulls out his phone, showing me the screen. It's been recording this entire time. "I've been documenting your episodes for weeks," he continues, his voice still warm and loving to anyone watching. The confused responses, the angry outbursts, the times you forgot where you were or what you were doing. It's all here, time-stamped and ready for the competency hearing. My hands shake as I realize the scope of his manipulation. Every conversation, every moment of grief or confusion, every time I struggled with English or got emotional about Maya, he's been recording it all, building a case to prove I'm mentally incompetent. "The best part," he says, slipping the phone back into his pocket, "is that you helped me do it. Every time you acted like the grieving widower, every time you spoke Georgian instead of English, every time you seemed overwhelmed by the business decisions, you were building my case for me." He leans even closer, his lips almost touching my ear, his voice dropping to barely a whisper. "You're just a guest on my land now, old man, and guests who overstay their welcome get evicted." The words hit me like a physical blow. This is it, the moment I've been dreading, the confirmation that the boy I raised is truly gone. In his place sits a stranger wearing my grandson's face, a man who can threaten to desecrate his grandmother's grave while smiling at wedding guests. Around us, the reception continues. People laugh and eat and celebrate what they think is love. But I'm sitting in the middle of it all, finally understanding that I'm not fighting for my land anymore. I'm fighting for my life. I escape to the vineyard office during the dinner service, my hands shaking as I dial the number I've called countless times over 20 years. If anyone can help me stop this madness, it's Marcus Chen, the lawyer who handled our immigration papers, our business incorporation, every legal milestone of our American dream. The phone rings twice before his familiar voice answers, "Chen and Associates." "Marcus, thank God," I breathe into the receiver. "This is Giorgi. I need your help immediately. My grandson is trying to have me committed tonight and—" "I'm sorry, who is this?" The question stops me cold. Giorgi Ivanishvili. "You've been my lawyer for 20 years, Marcus. You handled Maya's estate, the Vineyard Incorporation." "Sir, I think there's been some mistake." His voice is gentle but firm. "Mr. Ivanishvili died 3 months ago. I handled his funeral arrangements myself. If this is some kind of prank—" The phone slips from my numb fingers, clattering against the desk. "Dead. According to my own lawyer, I've been dead for 3 months. The death certificate Niko mentioned wasn't for future use. It's already been filed. Legally, officially, I no longer exist." I pick up the phone with trembling hands. "Marcus, please, this is really me. Check your records, check." The line goes dead. My most trusted ally, the man who helped us build our legal foundation in this country, believes I'm a corpse. Niko hasn't just planned to erase me, he's already begun. I stare at the phone in my hand, understanding with crystal clarity that I'm truly alone. legally dead, about to be physically imprisoned, with no one left who believes I'm real. I'm still reeling from Marcus's rejection when my daughter Elena appears in the office doorway, her face creased with worry. Behind her stand my son David and his wife Carmen, all three looking at me with the careful expressions people use around broken things. "Papa," Elena says softly, stepping into the room like she's approaching a wild animal, "we need to talk." "Elena, thank God you're here," I stand quickly, hope flooding through me. "Your son is planning something terrible. He's trying to steal the vineyard, have me committed." "Papa, please sit down." David moves to my other side and suddenly I'm surrounded. "We know you're confused. We know this is scary for you." Confused, I stare at my children, searching their faces for recognition, for trust, for any sign that they know me at all. Instead, I see pity and determination. Elena pulls out a manila folder, her hands shaking slightly. "We've been documenting the episodes, Papa. The times you've gotten lost on your own property, the angry outbursts, the conversations with Mama in the garden." She opens the folder, revealing photographs and written reports. Pictures of me talking to Maya's roses, annotated with dates and times, notes about aggressive behavior and paranoid delusions. A medical evaluation I never agreed to, signed by a doctor I've never met. "This is all lies," I whisper, but even as I say it, I can see how it looks. An old immigrant man, grieving his wife, struggling with English, talking to flowers. In the right light, with the right spin, grief becomes madness. "The nursing home is very nice, Papa," Carmen says gently. "They specialize in Georgian immigrants. You'll be able to speak your own language, eat familiar food. You'll be safe there." Safe? The word tastes like poison. They think they're saving me from myself, these children I raised, these people who should know me better than anyone. Niko has turned my own family into weapons against me. As my children try to convince me to accept my fate, I hear heavy footsteps in the hallway. Sheriff Martinez appears in the doorway, his uniform crisp, his expression apologetic but determined. For one wild moment, hope flares in my chest. Maybe he's here to arrest Niko. Maybe someone called about the conspiracy. "Evening, Giorgi," he says in the warm voice he's used at our family barbecues for 15 years. "Beautiful wedding. Your grandson asked me to stop by, said you might need some gentle guidance tonight." The hope dies instantly. He's not here to save me. He's here to take me away. "Roberto," I say, using his first name, trying to reach the man who's eaten at my table, who's watched my grapes grow, who calls me Uncle Giorgi when his kids are around. "You know me. You know I'm not sick. This is all a lie, a conspiracy to steal my land." His expression doesn't change, but I see the pity creep into his eyes. "I know this is hard, amigo. Change is always hard, but your family loves you and they're worried about your safety." He pulls out a set of papers from his jacket, the commitment order, already signed by a judge I've never met, based on evidence I never had a chance to dispute. "The facility is expecting you tonight after the reception winds down," he continues. "We can do this easy, with dignity, surrounded by family, or we can do it the hard way, but either way, you're getting the help you need." I look around the room at the faces of people who should be protecting me, my children, my friend, the sheriff who's supposed to serve and protect. All of them convinced they're doing the right thing, all of them unwitting accomplices in my destruction. "The papers are legal and binding," Martinez adds gently, "signed by Dr. Williams after his evaluation last week." "I never saw any Dr. Williams," I protest, but even as I say it, I remember the man who came to check on me after Maya died. The one Niko said was a grief counselor, the one who asked all those questions about my memory, my mood, my ability to care for myself. Another lie, another trap I walked into willingly. The music changes outside, the familiar opening notes of Butterfly Kisses, the father-daughter dance song Elena chose months ago. My heart breaks as I realize this might be our last dance, our last moment together before they lock me away. "Come on, Papa," Elena says, tears streaming down her face. "One last dance, please, for me." We walk to the dance floor together and she melts into my arms the way she has since she was 3 years old. Around us, the wedding guests smile and wipe their eyes, thinking they're witnessing a beautiful moment between father and daughter. They have no idea they're watching a goodbye. Papa, Elena whispers as we sway to the music, please don't make this harder than it has to be. The doctors say you're getting worse. The episodes are becoming more frequent, more violent. We're scared you're going to hurt yourself. I'm not sick, Mija, I whisper back, using the Spanish endearment she loved as a child. Your son is lying to you. He's stolen money, forged documents, planned to destroy everything your mother and I built. She pulls back to look at me, and I see the exact moment she decides I'm delusional. The moment my own daughter chooses to believe my grandson over me. The nursing home has a beautiful garden, she says, her voice breaking. You can grow roses there, you can talk to mama all you want, and no one will think it's strange. The song ends and she hugs me tight, whispering in my ear, please, Papa, please just sign the papers, let us take care of you, let us help you. As she pulls away, I see Niko watching from across the dance floor, his smile triumphant. He's won. My own daughter is begging me to surrender, and she thinks she's saving my life. I stumble away from the dance floor, my heart shattered, my mind reeling. Everything is lost. My family believes I'm insane, the law believes I'm dead, and in less than an hour, they'll be loading me into Sheriff Martinez's car for transport to a facility I'll never leave. I collapse into a chair near the edge of the reception, pulling out my phone to, call someone. There's no one left to call. Everyone who might have helped me thinks I'm either dead or crazy. That's when I notice something strange. My phone shows no missed calls, no text messages, no signal bars at all. But I've been getting calls all day from vendors, from family, from... I check the settings and my blood runs cold. Airplane mode. My phone has been in airplane mode since this morning, blocking all calls except the ones Niko wanted me to receive. The call to Marcus, the doctor's evaluation, even the legal papers, everything has been filtered through my grandson's control. But airplane mode does something else. It saves battery, and when it saves battery, it keeps recording. With shaking hands, I open the voice memo app and see it, a continuous recording that's been running for 6 hours. Every conversation, every whispered threat, every detail of the conspiracy, it's all here. Niko's confession about the gambling debts, his plan to exhume Maya's body, Sarah's father discussing the casino investment, the nursing home plot, everything. I have proof, digital, time-stamped, undeniable proof of the entire conspiracy. My great-niece Tamara, Elena's daughter, taught me how to use this feature months ago when I wanted to record my stories about Georgia for the family. Just in case you want to remember something later, Dedushka, she'd said. Now it might save my life. But as I stare at the recording, reality crashes over me. I have the evidence, but no way to use it. Sheriff Martinez won't listen, he thinks I'm delusional. My children won't believe me, they think I'm sick. And in 30 minutes I'll be in custody, my phone confiscated as a safety measure. I need help. I need someone who understands technology, someone who can get this evidence to the right people before it's too late. I need Tamara. I find Tamara by the dessert table, her 22-year-old fingers flying across her phone screen as she posts wedding photos to social media. She looks up as I approach, her smile bright and genuine, the only person here who still sees me as family instead of a problem to be solved. Dedushka, she hugs me tight, and for a moment I feel human again. Beautiful wedding, right? Though I have to say, cousin Niko seems different lately. More intense. I glance around to make sure we're not being watched, then lean close to her ear. Tamara, I need your help, your technical help, and I need you to promise you'll listen to everything before you decide I'm crazy. Something in my voice makes her pull back and study my face. What's wrong? Your mother and uncle think I'm losing my mind. They're planning to have me committed tonight after the reception, but it's all a lie, a conspiracy to steal the vineyard, and I have proof. I show her my phone, the recording app, the 6 hours of evidence. Her eyes widen as she scrolls through the timeline. You've been recording everything. Not intentionally, but yes, everything. Niko's confessions, the investor meetings, the forged medical evaluations, it's all there. But I need to get it uploaded somewhere safe before they take my phone away. Can you help me? Tamara's expression shifts from confusion to understanding to anger as the implications sink in. That bastard, that absolute bastard, he's been playing the concerned grandson while planning to rob you blind. You believe me? Didushka, I've been watching him all day, the way he talks to people, the way he handles the gift table, the way he looks at this place like he already owns it. I thought something was off, but this, she gestures at the phone, this is criminal. Relief floods through me so powerfully I nearly collapse. Someone believes me, someone sees the truth. What do you need me to do? Upload the recording to cloud storage, email copies to journalists, to the FBI, to anyone who might listen. And do it fast, they're planning to move against me as soon as the toasts end. Tamara nods grimly, already working on her phone. I can do better than that. The wedding videographer set up a live streaming system for the toasts. If we can get to the AV booth, we can broadcast your evidence to everyone here right now, make it impossible for them to deny. For the first time in hours, I feel hope stirring in my chest. Not just hope for escape, but hope for justice, hope for truth. Can we do it without them stopping us? Leave that to me, Tamara says, her young face set with determination. You just be ready to tell your story when the time comes. We're moving toward the AV booth when Niko appears out of nowhere, his hand clamping down on Tamara's shoulder like a vice. Cousin Tamara, he says, his voice friendly but his grip unmistakably threatening. And Grandpa, having a nice conversation. Just catching up, Tamara says, but I can hear the tension in her voice. That's wonderful, family is so important. His smile never wavers, but his eyes are ice cold. Tamara, your mother's looking for you, something about the gift table needing attention. I'll find her in a minute, she starts to say, but Niko's grip tightens. Now would be better, it's not a request. I watch helplessly as he steers her away from me, away from the AV booth, away from our plan. But worse is coming. As I try to follow them, 2 security guards appear at my elbows, men I don't recognize, men who definitely aren't part of the wedding staff. Mr. Ivanishvili, one of them says politely, your grandson asked us to make sure you stay comfortable and safe during the final hour of the reception. Safe, that word again. I'm being detained by my own security at my own grandson's wedding on my own land. From across the reception area, I watch Niko approach the AV booth himself. The technician hands him something, a tablet, maybe, or a hard drive. Whatever evidence might have been stored in the venue's system, he's destroying it now. Then he takes the microphone, tapping it to get everyone's attention. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. It's time for the groom's toast, and I have something very special to share with all of you tonight. The security guards tighten their grip on my arms, not enough to be obvious, but enough to make it clear I'm not going anywhere. Tamara is trapped across the room by her mother and Sheriff Martinez. The AV system has been compromised. Niko stands at the microphone with my phone in his hand. When did he get my phone? And I watch him delete the recording app with theatrical flourish. Tonight we say goodbye to the past, he announces to the crowd, and hello to the future. I'm out of allies, out of evidence, out of time. In minutes he'll give his toast, the reception will end, and I'll disappear forever into a system designed to silence inconvenient old men. But as I stand there held captive at my own grandson's wedding, something inside me shifts. The despair transforms into something harder, colder, more dangerous. I may be out of options, but I'm not out of fight. And Niko has made one crucial mistake. He's forgotten that this is still my land, my vineyard, my home. He may have turned my family against me, but he doesn't know everything about the empire Maya and I built. He doesn't know about the backup systems, the hidden safeguards, the old-fashioned Georgian solutions to modern problems. Most importantly, he doesn't know that the frail, confused old man was always partly an act, a way to let him reveal his true nature before I destroyed him completely. The student is about to learn from the master. The security guards think they're controlling me, but they don't know about the signal I just gave Tamara, 3 taps on my chest, right over my heart. It's the old Georgian code Maya and I used during the harvest seasons when we needed to communicate across the vineyard without shouting. Tamara learned it as a child playing spy games in the wine cellar. She catches my eye from across the reception and nods almost imperceptibly. While Niko deleted the recording from my phone, he doesn't know about the automatic cloud backup Tamara set up months ago when she taught me the voice memo feature. Every recording uploads in real time to 3 different servers. I watch her slip away from her mother and Sheriff Martinez, moving toward the backup projection system the wedding planners installed for the slideshow. The main AV booth is compromised, but the secondary display system runs independently, and Tamara has the access codes from helping set up the family photos earlier. My phone may be gone, but the evidence lives in the cloud, and in 60 seconds when Niko starts his toast, 300 wedding guests are about to get the shock of their lives. The security guards relax their grip slightly, thinking I'm just a confused old man watching his grandson's moment of triumph. They have no idea they're about to witness the most spectacular public downfall in wedding history. I close my eyes and whisper a prayer in Georgian, not for victory but for justice, for Maya's memory, for the truth that's about to burn everything down. Niko taps the microphone, his smile radiant as he prepares to deliver what he thinks will be his victory speech. The crowd settles into expectant silence, wine glasses raised, phones recording what they believe will be a beautiful family moment. "Ladies and gentlemen," he begins, "tonight we celebrate not just a marriage, but a new beginning for our entire family." I stand up abruptly, swaying slightly, my hand pressed to my chest. "Niko," I call out in a voice that carries just the right note of confusion and distress. "Niko, I don't feel something's wrong." The crowd turns toward me with immediate concern. I start speaking rapidly in Georgian, my voice rising with apparent panic, gesturing wildly at the microphone setup. To most of the guests, it sounds like the frightened babbling of an old man having some kind of episode. But Alina and David rush to my side immediately, their faces creased with worry. "Papa, what's wrong?" Alina asks, switching to Georgian herself. "What are you saying?" "The microphone," I say in Georgian, loud enough for everyone to hear the distress in my voice. "I need to tell them about the land, about what we planted here, before it's too late, before I forget everything." Niko's face goes pale. He can't refuse to give me the microphone now, not with 300 guests watching an elderly man having what appears to be a medical emergency, not when my own children are begging him to let their father speak. "Of course, Grandpa," he says through gritted teeth, his public mask slipping back into place. "Of course you can speak." The Georgian relatives in the crowd start murmuring encouragingly, and several of them move closer to the microphone area. In Georgian culture, when an elder is distressed, the family rallies around them. Niko can't fight tradition and family honor, not publicly, not at his own wedding. He hands me the microphone with shaking hands, and I see the exact moment he realizes he's been outmaneuvered. I take the microphone with trembling hands that aren't trembling from fear anymore, they're trembling with anticipation. Around me, the Georgian relatives form a protective circle, their faces serious and respectful. This is how we honor our elders when they need to speak their truth. "Thank you," I say in Georgian, my voice carrying clearly across the reception area. "I need to tell you all a story about this land, about what we built here, about what some people want to destroy." I speak slowly, clearly, letting the beautiful rhythm of my native language fill the air. Most of the guests don't understand the words, but they can hear the emotion, the gravity, the love in every syllable. What they don't know is that Tamara has connected to the backup projection system. While I speak in Georgian, English subtitles begin appearing on the screens around the reception area, but they're not translating my words about the land. Instead, they're displaying the transcription of Niko's recorded confessions, along with images of the real property deed and an eviction notice I had prepared weeks ago. "My grandson told me today," I continue in Georgian while the screen shows, "the old man doesn't suspect anything. As far as he knows, I'm just a reformed gambling addict who found love." The crowd starts murmuring as they read the subtitle, confusion rippling through the reception. Some people are looking at their phones, others at the screens, trying to understand what they're seeing. "He spoke of his grandmother's memory," I say in Georgian while the screen displays. "By Tuesday, he'll be in a memory care facility, the land will be sold, and I'll be $12 million richer." Now people are standing up, pointing at the screens, their voices rising in shock and disbelief. Sarah's face has gone white as she reads her new husband's words projected for everyone to see. The screens flash to show the authentic property deed, my name clearly listed as sole owner, followed by an official eviction notice dated today, ordering Niko Ivanishvili and all co-conspirators to vacate the premises immediately. I continue speaking in Georgian about love and family and the sacred trust between generations, while the screens reveal the truth about forged medical evaluations, stolen wedding gifts, and plans to bulldoze Maya's memorial garden for casino parking. The final subtitle appears just as I finish speaking. You're just a guest on MY land now, old man. The reception explodes into chaos. Sarah's father is on his feet, screaming at Niko about the casino investment that was supposed to be secret. Wedding guests are pulling out their phones, recording everything, sharing the subtitles on social media in real time. "This is fake," Niko shouts into the microphone, but his voice cracks with desperation. "He's sick, he's confused, this is all." "The pawn shop receipt," I say clearly in English now, pulling the crumpled paper from my jacket pocket. "For your grandmother's wedding ring, $2,400 to pay for my nursing home admission." I hold up Maya's ring and the crowd gasps. Half the guests know the story of this ring, know what it means to our family. Seeing it around my neck instead of on Sarah's finger tells them everything they need to know about what kind of man they've been celebrating. Sarah tears off her veil and throws it at Niko's feet. "You told me your grandmother wanted me to have that ring. You said she gave it to you before she died." "She did, You pawned it," Sarah's voice carries across the entire reception. "You pawned your dead grandmother's ring to pay for stealing your grandfather's land." Sheriff Martinez is reading something on his phone, probably the cloud files that Tamara sent to every law enforcement email she could find. His face is grim as he approaches Niko with handcuffs already in his hands. "Niko Ivanishvili," he says in his official voice, "you're under arrest for elder abuse, fraud, forgery, and conspiracy to commit kidnapping." The nursing home commitment papers flutter to the ground as Martinez tears them in half. "These are void," he announces to the crowd, "based on falsified medical evidence and fraudulent legal documentation." Elena and David are at my side, tears streaming down their faces. "Papa," Elena whispers, "we're so sorry, we thought." "You thought you were protecting me," I say gently. "That's what good children do, but now you know the truth." As the handcuffs click around Niko's wrists, I pull the final surprise from my jacket pocket, the real property deed, the one I've kept in the vineyard safe for 40 years. Not a copy, not a forgery, but the original document that proves beyond any doubt who owns this land. "I was never helpless," I announce to the crowd, my voice strong and clear. "I've known about every meeting, every forged document, every lie. I let you reveal yourselves because I needed evidence of the full conspiracy." Sarah's father tries to slip away through the crowd, but several guests block his path. "The casino investment," someone calls out. "He admitted to funding the whole thing." "The FBI will want to talk to all the investors," I say calmly. "Conspiracy to defraud an elderly person is a federal crime." I turn to face the crowd, many of whom are still recording on their phones. 3 weeks ago, I installed security cameras throughout the property. Every conversation, every secret meeting, every moment of this conspiracy has been documented and stored safely off-site. Niko's face goes white as he realizes the scope of my preparation. You knew." "I knew the moment you pawned your grandmother's ring," I say. "Did you really think I wouldn't check on the most precious thing in our family? The pawn shop owner is my friend. He called me immediately." The crowd is silent now, hanging on every word. "I spent 3 weeks documenting your crimes, building an unbreakable case, and waiting for you to reveal everyone involved. You wanted to inherit my land?" I gesture to the chaos around us, the arrests being made, the investors being questioned. "Congratulations, you've inherited a federal investigation." Elena squeezes my hand. "Papa, you could have told us. And risk you trying to handle this quietly within the family? No, some betrayals require public justice." As the police finish processing the arrests and the last of the wedding guests drift away in shock, I find myself standing alone in Maya's memorial garden. The roses glow silver in the moonlight, and I can almost feel her presence beside me, proud and fierce and satisfied. Niko sits in the back of Sheriff Martinez's patrol car, his wedding tuxedo wrinkled, his hands cuffed behind his back. Through the window, I can see him staring at me with a mixture of hatred and disbelief. I walk over to the car and tap on the glass. Martinez rolls down the window. 1 minute, I say, please. Niko looks up at me, and for a moment, I see something that might be remorse in his eyes. But then his face hardens into the same cold mask he's been wearing all day. You won, he says bitterly. Congratulations, you destroyed your own grandson at his wedding. No, I say quietly, you destroyed yourself. I just made sure everyone could see it. I pull out the casino development contracts, the ones I found in his room weeks ago, and a lighter from my pocket. You wanted to inherit my land, here's your inheritance. I set the contracts on fire, letting them burn in the gravel beside the patrol car. The flames dance and flicker, consuming months of criminal planning in seconds. You have until midnight to get your belongings off my property, I tell him as the last of the papers turn to ash. After that, you're trespassing on land that will never be yours. The patrol car pulls away, taking my grandson toward a future of legal consequences and federal prison time. I watch the taillights disappear down the vineyard road, feeling not triumph but a deep, peaceful satisfaction. Justice served, family protected, Maya's memory preserved. An hour later, I sit on the bench in Maya's garden with Alina, David, and Tamara, sharing a bottle of wine from the year Maya and I first planted our vines. The wedding chaos has been cleared away, but the fairy lights still twinkle in the trees, making everything feel magical despite the evening's drama. To Grandpa, Tamara says, raising her glass, the most badass Georgian patriarch in California. To Mama, Alina adds, touching Maya's headstone gently, who would have been so proud to see you protect our family. To Justice, David says simply. I lift my own glass, feeling the weight of Maya's ring against my chest where it belongs. To new beginnings, I say, and to never forgetting that family is not about blood, it's about honor. We drink in comfortable silence as the clock strikes midnight, officially ending what was supposed to be Niko's wedding day and the beginning of my imprisonment. Instead, it's become the day I reclaimed my life, my land, and my family's future. Tomorrow, I'll start the process of legally adopting Tamara as my heir. She's earned it, not just for tonight, but for being the kind of person who sees truth and fights for it, who uses technology to protect rather than exploit, who understands that real strength comes from lifting others up rather than tearing them down. The vineyard will stay in the family, the memorial garden will bloom every spring, and somewhere in federal prison, my former grandson will have plenty of time to think about the difference between inheritance and theft. I place my hand on Maya's headstone and whisper in Georgian, "It's finished, my love, our home is safe." The wine tastes like victory, like justice, like the sweetest revenge of all, the truth, served publicly and without mercy to those who thought they could prey on the innocent. Some toasts are worth waiting 65 years to make.
Giorgi, thank you for courageously sharing how you turned vulnerability into a weapon against betrayal. This story shows that documenting truth can dismantle even the most intimate conspiracies and protect legacies. Was Giorgi justified in exposing it all publicly? Let us know in the comments. And if these tales resonate, subscribe for more. I'm Eliza Quinn, and remember, here on Wedding Day Justice, veils off, justice on.